Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another vidIQ live stream. My name is Dan, and today we are talking about getting you paid. That's right. A lot of you who are here on YouTube would probably love to get to a point in your YouTube journey where you're actually making money from the time you invest in your channel, and in a lot of cases, the money that you invest into your channel. And that is something that we here at vidIQ are striving to help creators do every single day, not just through these live streams, but through our numerous tools that we have as well. More on that in a little bit, though. Let's go ahead and invite today's co-host of the week. It is Mr. Rob. How's it going?
Well, thank you for inviting me onto this live stream, Dan. Thank you very much. Yes, monetization. It is a goal of, what would we say, 99.9987% of creators?
Nope. 92%.
I am sorry.
93%.
Oh, it's suddenly gone up. Wow. Oh, actually, I didn't realize you'd done a poll. I just started with that intro and I didn't realize you'd. Oh, right. That's a little different. That start be your job. I mean, some people may just want YouTube income as a side hustle, but yeah, come on. Most people want money, right, on YouTube. Very few would do it for the goodness of their own hearts, or there are some charitable causes and whatnot. But yeah, monetization. We're going to be talking about that while I put on my gloves, which I haven't done for I would say a month. I don't know where they've been. Maybe they've been in a wash.
Yeah, maybe it's about time they're washed if it's been a month.
hey, come on.
So while Rob does that, I'll let you know a little bit more about the tools. As I alluded to a second ago, here at vidIQ, we're not just a YouTube channel that gives you awesome advice and does Q&A live streams like this one. Save your questions for here in a little bit, though. We also have these fun and fancy tools. If you install the vidIQ extension in your Chrome or Firefox browser, you can have access to all of these tools that appear on the left-hand side and in multiple places. We've done a lot of live streams on these tools, kind of taking you through a whole tour of them, but we have daily ideas. We have your keyword inspector. You can keep track of channels just like yours using the competition tool. We have trend alerts that you can set up for new and exciting things that you could be making videos about. Of course, we have vidIQ achievements. So when you click into here, it'll show you your latest, greatest achievements, and it'll also give you a prediction as to which ones are coming up next. So if you want access to our full suite of tools, of course, vidIQ is free. You can download it for free. But if you'd like to try everything for 30 days, absolutely free, the link is down below. So monetization. Are your gloves set? Are you good?
I'm all set. And as you were sharing the achievements tool there, Dan, I saw that it's predicting that we will get 1.5 million subscribers by I think it was like the end of 2023. Oof, that sounds like a challenge.
We can do it. I think it's
way off. Especially considering the last 5 minutes of yesterday's live stream. We do not feel prepared for such a task.
No, probably not. I guess you're right. Yeah, the live stream unraveled yesterday. You can go check out the VOD if you need to.
I wanted to show it to my wife last night, and so we were just watching it in bed, and I was just in giggles again. I don't know why, it was just so funny. Savage's Echo Oculus Quest moment. The funniest thing on YouTube. It really is. It really is. Do check it out.
So let's start with the basics, right? The way to get monetized on YouTube, the way to access monetization, the first step is getting everybody here to 1,000 subscribers. And this live stream won't end until all of you. No, I'm kidding.
My word.
So 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 hours of watch time. YouTube partnership program opens up. My favorite question, Rob: how rich did everybody just become?
Oh, I mean, you will be basking in the glory of several dollars, I think, on your first YouTube paycheck once you've monetized.
Tens of cents.
Tens of cents, especially if you are a short form creator. The possibilities are endless. I know we're making light of this a little bit, but it is an important milestone for many people. For a very long time, you're probably thinking several months, for some creators, years. They're pumping in a tremendous amount of time, which I believe is YouTube's most valuable currency. They're pumping time into their channels with little or no reward. So even though your first paycheck from YouTube might be $20, well, no, it has to be $100, of course, for the threshold. But if you're earning $20 a month after you first monetize, it's symbolic. It is a symbolic gesture, which hopefully starts to accumulate, the compound interest of the many YouTube rewards that you get. But yeah, I mean, once you monetize, you're probably looking at between $50 and $100 a month for your first bits of revenue, but that should increase as your channel grows.
Even at $50 to $100 a month, I mean, depending on where you are in the world and what it costs for your internet, that could be your internet bill paid.
Very true. Very true.
I wouldn't want to discount that. I also wouldn't want to suggest that just because you get monetized doesn't mean you're entitled to making any amount of money, because you have to keep uploading content. You have to keep at it. You have to keep getting views. You have to keep getting new viewers to watch your channel. So all of it's someone said this pretty well recently. The work really is just beginning when you hit 1,000 subscribers, when you get monetized on YouTube. It's probably the hardest climb on YouTube when you're starting out and you're going in blind. You don't know what you're doing. You get there though, and again, the work is just beginning.
I want to ask this question to our audience, since we're going to be here for a couple of hours, taking your questions, hopefully mostly on monetization. And so a question I want to throw to you first as a way of doing some shout outs. Let's just say, in theory, I know some of you will be monetized already, but many of you won't be. Let's say you get monetized, and in your first month, you earn exactly $100. So you get paid out. Tell us in the comments, what would you spend that $100 on? And for those people who answer, we'll greet them, and we'll read out what they're gonna say they're gonna buy their, what they're gonna spend their money on. So yeah, do let us know, and we can bring up some chatty stuff here. Here we go. So already done. If you want to start starring stuff as well, I read some of these out. Dopey. So I think this is a very sensible idea. Any money they earn from their channel, they would reinvest it into their channel with more gear. Do let us know what you would buy, what type of gear. Again, somebody else just said reinvest in the channel here from Nerfer. Me also there. And Commander Panda would pay my Adobe bill, my epidemic sound bill, and save some for tax. Yes, a very good thing, of course. Especially if you're not in the US, you will need to hold back some of that income for tax. Whereas I think in the US, it automatically takes it out. But Dan, you may be able to better answer that probably later on in this live stream.
There's a type of response I don't want you to click on, and I don't want to spoil what it is because I think we need to talk about it. But maybe you can look at these and see there's 2 of them in there.
All right. So do you want me to start looking at the starred ones now? Thank you for doing that. Yeah. So Austin Librink says they're going to get a new camera. Interesting one from here, Yoga Brain.
That's the one.
Advertising. All right. Well, yeah. Let's stick around on this one for a little bit then. Advertising. So I'm presuming what you're meaning there is that you maybe put some of your videos into Google Ads or YouTube Ads. Interesting.
I think that's what they mean, because a few people said advertising, and I think you're in the right place, right? If you're trying to get your content discovered on YouTube, that's what we specialize in. We're trying to make sure that you can do that. And if you get money from YouTube or in general, we would personally, generally speaking, advise that you don't invest it in that way. Just trying to push your videos out there, because what you're doing, especially if you're just making entertainment content, if you're selling a product, that's a totally different story. But if you're just making entertainment content and you're putting it out there and having YouTube say, hey, put this in front of the right people, it's just going to interrupt So someone clicks on a video and then yours pops up first, and it's that 5, 4, 3, 2, and they're waiting to skip it. That's all you're doing is delaying the thing they actually clicked for. Generally speaking, it's not that they will feel any way towards you. It's just that they're not going to take the next step to actually go to your channel and become a long-time viewer of your channel.
I would say in terms of using YouTube, Google for advertising, you're more likely to be wanting to win a customer to purchase something,
right,
rather than to win a new subscriber / community member / loyal hardcore fan. But this does only just come from my experience. I would always advocate for trying to grow your audience organically. I don't know if there are any really famous examples of people succeeding with advertising. But as you say, Dan, this person has the right mindset that they want to reinvest what they earn back into growing their channel a little bit more. So let's not beat them up completely on this.
No, and we should also mention their channel name is Yoga Brain. Maybe they sell products.
True, very true.
Alongside.
Very true.
So we're not saying this creator on screen right now is like doing something wrong, but as general advice, since a few people did say advertising or more advertising, this would be, I think, the wrong way to spend your dollar if you're trying to use it to grow your channel. Stick around here. We're going to help you try and grow organically.
Go on then, Dan. I'm going to let you read off some of the next starred ones.
So I'll spend on equipment. We saw a bunch of these. Make some merch for my community, which I think is a very awesome thing to do. New camera, some more equipment. Someone said they'll save that $100. Digitally Squirrel said they're saving it, which is a good idea as well.
Squirreling it away.
Squirreling it away.
Forgive the pun.
I would spend that $100 on some slightly better equipment or anything that'll benefit me. Making more content, and then another one I saw here for about advertising, things to upgrade my channel. I'd spend money on things to make more content. Maybe get premium vidIQ. Hey,
well, you can get the 30-day free trial first, but then if you want to invest, good choice.
There you go. We have a tool that you can use to as another thing to invest in your channel and your YouTube growth.
I guess we should say S Ninja 91 with finally the definitive right answer.
Yeah, none of you got it right until now. So those are the ones I starred anyway.
Now that's a good one. So I was gonna say, like, Dan, if you had $100, what would you invest in? And I think for me personally, knowing my YouTube journey and whatnot, I think the best investment for a significant increase in quality at that point with $100 is usually a microphone. Because if you're used to using the inboard microphone on your phone, the camera, etc., it's usually of a pretty low standard. And so I think somebody says, I think it's Sean Cannell who says this, that audio is half of video. So being able to improve that for a relatively low cost is probably where I would start. What about you?
I got this microphone on sale for less than $100. I've used it for about 10 years. I love it. It's fantastic. Now, if I had an extra $100, I would spend it on something you and I both seem to need, and that is new mic arms.
Because mine just keeps detaching itself whenever it wants to.
Yeah. I found one I want too, and it costs just about $100. So that's something I'm looking forward to buying here soon. But yes,
thank you for all of your comments there. Then that was appreciated, and welcome to the live stream. I'm gonna let you in on a little behind the scenes secret here. I turned up for this live stream 30 seconds before it went live. So obviously I have a lot of innate monetization knowledge. So Dan, I don't know how you plan this, whether we're going to ask questions to each other or we're just going to open it up to the audience. How have you structured this amazing live stream?
So I wanted to start at 1,000 subscribers, see where the conversation takes us, but there's a few points beyond AdSense that I definitely wanted to touch on, because AdSense isn't where it stops when it comes to making money on YouTube. That's just the first thing you kind of unlock. And I recently went through this because I had a smaller, newer channel that hit monetization and noticed that I didn't have access to everything that my old channel had. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. They're kind of rolling this out to me. But over time, I got access to memberships. I got access to super chats. And then I got access to the giving abilities, the charity. Like right now, this live stream is supporting Team C's. So if instead of a super chat, if you were to try and give money to this live stream, it would go straight to Team C's, which is a fantastic cause. We've been supporting them throughout a lot of our live streams lately. That wasn't something I had access to right away. which I thought was kind of interesting. So when you get monetization options, you actually open the door to all kinds of different ways to make money or deal with money in the case of charity live streaming.
Yep, absolutely. I think that was quite limited to begin with. I think you needed like above 10,000 subscribers. As with many things, YouTube are lowering the requirements. Like the community tab now is no longer attached to your monetization goals. That's now at 500 subscribers. Live streaming, that used to be, I think, 1,000 subscribers, or definitely 100 to live stream on a mobile device. Now it's down to 50. So YouTube is lowering the requirements for so many things. Are they going to lower the requirements again for monetization? I still think we're in a period of where 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 hours of watch time sounds about right and appropriate for me. But I guess many creators who are monetized will say that because they're in that exclusive club, so to speak. But I'm sure many of you who are not yet monetized would love those requirements to lower. I have seen some people advocate for it. But right now, it seems to be YouTube stiffening up the current requirements, because we all know down about 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 hours of watch time. But very recently, YouTube introduced 2 new requirements that I'm just going to try and bring up on screen now. So if you just bear with me for 20 seconds, then we can highlight them as part of the progress to monetization. Come on, my internet is running a little faster than it was yesterday. So now I should be able to share this. I guess what we should also ask as well is where people are on their monetized. Whoa. Let's try that again, shall we? That was a little headache inducing. Thank you. Maybe panic a bit there. Apologies for anyone who's got
they've added to this.
eyes. Yeah, so 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 hours watch time. Those have been established, I think, since 2018 or 2019. But now also, and these are things that you can do to prepare your channel, is that you also need 2-step verification. This is where if you log into your YouTube account on a new device, it will ask you to verify that it's you who's doing this through one of your existing devices. So it's just an extra layer of protection. You need it in order to monetize your channel. So make sure that you set that up in advance so you don't have any delays when you finally monetize your channel. And I kind of feel as if this one was probably hidden in the background anyway. When you submit your channel for review, human people actually do check out your channel. And if they're seeing that you maybe had any community guideline strikes in the past, that may prevent you from being monetized. But now it's a definite no-no. If you have any community guideline strikes on your channel, they need to be removed first. If and when you potentially get a community guideline strike, it will last for 90 days. So start reading up on the rules. Make sure you're following them, because these are the precursor to the type of guidelines that you're going to be following when you have advertiser policy guidelines and all of the monetization guidelines for that. So those are the 2 new-ish requirements that were added, I think, in the last 2 or 3 months, Dan.
So there's something else exciting that YouTube's doing with regards to super chats. And I think I showed you this a few days ago, and it's something that Creator Insider actually talked about briefly as well in their latest video. So what they're doing is testing out a new feature where I think it's just through December. They're running some kind of special where you can give your favorite creator $5 as a super chat. And this is really, really interesting because this is the kind of thing Twitch does a lot. Like they'll do these campaigns where you can buy some bits at a discounted price, but bits are always worth the same to the person you give them to. So every bit is a penny. And if you buy them at a discounted price, but you give 500 of them to your favorite creator, you've just given them $5. So YouTube is giving a lot of creators, it doesn't seem to be everybody, a free $5 to give to their favorite creator. You can only do it once. And this is the reason I'm bringing this up. Obviously, this doesn't affect you if your channel's not monetized yet. You're probably not going to be getting a free $5 from somebody. But the reason I bring this up is because it's a new way for YouTube to advertise that, hey, this is like a thing you can do here. And I think it's really important because it's a feature that a lot of people don't even, I think, realize that exists. Maybe they would be willing to support their favorite creator while they're live. They just don't know they can. So now this little icon, if you can send $5 to somebody, this little icon will blink in the bottom corner underneath chat, and you'll click on it. It'll let you know, hey, do you want to give this creator $5? So because of that, I think it's a really, really good time to get into, live streaming. If you were something you were thinking about and you're monetized, like YouTube is taking steps to get that more normalized, to get super chats more normalized, which really go a long way to support creators.
I was trying to find the news story about that, Dan, but I couldn't. But yeah, I think you mentioned that Creator Insider, the channel that we definitely recommend you subscribe to for all of the latest YouTube news updates that I usually take for myself and reimagining them in vidIQ's voice. I think I'm doing that right now, actually, with a video that's going to be released tomorrow. So yeah, Creator Insider, we always recommend getting inside news from them.
Yeah. So super chats are, I think, going to be hopefully more of a thing. It seems like YouTube is giving them some extra focus right now, and that makes me really excited. I don't know where that leaves super thanks. I haven't, ever since it's been rolled out, I haven't heard anybody talk about it. Have you seen it used anywhere?
Point, yeah. No, I haven't seen anybody really trying to utilize it. I thought people might be instead of if we can get 500 likes on this video, I'll do this. Like if we can earn $500 from super thanks, we'll do this. Almost literally asking people to fund future video projects. Haven't really seen that come to fruition yet, but I'm sure, Dan, in 6 months' time, YouTube will post a report saying, after we introduced super thanks, this one channel is now earning 47% of their revenue from such a tool.
Yeah,
you can actually find out how that channel is doing such a thing.
I kind of wonder, because I thought it was going to be called like a tip jar or something, and I don't. Does that sound familiar to you?
It was called something else in the past. I don't think it's ever been called a tip jar. I think it was previously thanks rather than super thanks. I believe I remember first talking about it. I think at the beginning of 2019 or 2020. It was certainly before the pandemic. I can remember that, and it was talking like 2 or 3 years ago when it was first introduced. But it seems to have been a very low key thing all the way through.
Yeah, I thought calling it tips or something along that line would be more clear.
Makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, because super thanks is kind of weird. It's I don't know what that really means, and I do think if I were to give any feedback to YouTube, I would say that super chats are almost clear, kinda. Super thanks is like not quite there. I think branding wise, that was a little bit off, and that might be one reason I never hear about it. I don't have any. I've never gotten one in all my time on YouTube since it's been out.
And you have it enabled on your channel?
I believe I do. Now you're making me question. I should probably go back and check. Maybe that's why I haven't gotten one.
I'm wondering if I still, well, I say vidIQ still doesn't have super thanks. Maybe it's because YouTube realizes that we don't monetize any of our stuff, so they're not really allowing us access to it.
Yeah, even super tips might be a little more, maybe.
Mm.
Although then is it tips and tricks tips or
who knows?
Anyway, just wanted to throw that out there. So those are, again, just some of the features that you unlock when you get monetized on YouTube that go beyond AdSense, that are ways to make money. And we've talked about this before, but there are a number of ways to make money outside of even YouTube. You can start making money today even if you're not monetized through sites like Patreon and things of that nature.
Yes. What I suggest you do actually regarding this. In fact, let's do let's play a little game first, Stan, and people, you can play this in a chat. We'll say different ways to get to earn money outside of YouTube. So I'll say one, and then Dan, you can say one. So we'll go back and forth until we run out of ideas, right? Okay.
Okay.
So these are strictly ways to earn money, not through YouTube products. So we're not talking about super chats. We're not talking about ad revenue. We're talking about stuff outside of YouTube, right? So Dan, do you want to go first or second?
Affiliates.
Right. Dan obviously has gone first. Brand deals.
So I was going to say sponsorships. Is that the same?
No, that's fine. I think sponsorships is different.
Okay.
Kind of. All right. Merch.
Patreon.
Products.
Sites like Patreon.
I don't know if that counts. Online courses.
Oh, see, yeah, I'm always in the gaming bubble. Like our options can be limited. We can't do an online course, you know?
Sure you can.
Well, for what? What would I be teaching?
If you want to train an elite gamer how to become a professional gamer, surely that's a course you could do.
What if you just make dumb stuff though and you're really bad at the games?
You teach people how to become a dumb YouTuber like them.
That's just a YouTube course. That doesn't.
But if it's a course that you provide on Udemy, Thinkific, etc., that's a course that you're selling outside of YouTube.
Hey,
Yeah, Dan is stalling. That is.
I don't know
true.
who that is, but you should be fired or something. How dare you accuse me of trying to? You know that one you can buy people a coffee. That one.
Well, buy me a coffee.
Yeah, one of those.
All right, so that's like a tip jar outside of YouTube.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, services. Like, let's say you're a real estate and you're going to sell your services as a real estate agent.
That would just be using your channel as a marketing tool.
Does that not count?
I guess I'm just trying to. It seems different though. It doesn't seem like. Anyway, you could go on like Amazon or something and sign up for their affiliate program. There you go.
There from
I was trying to avoid that one.
There are perfectly safe OnlyFans stuff. I think Cameo would be another one. Like that.
Maybe a certain level. I guess. I mean, I don't know who's buying a Cameo from someone who has like 500 subscribers, but maybe.
Real estate is selling houses. By the way, short reviews.
Let's see. Did anyone else think of anything? Because now I'm out of ideas now.
Yeah, I must have confessed. I'm out of ideas, but I'm just claiming I won that little game that we were playing.
Someone said your own website.
Well, again, what are you selling on that website?
Maybe just putting ads all over your website.
Consulting, yeah, I think that falls into the selling of services, professional consultancy, and whatnot.
Pay to view would probably be under memberships, I think, because you can put content behind a.
But there are now services like what's it called? I think Curiosity is one where creators are moving off of YouTube and now putting some of their premium content behind a paywall. So yeah, it is YouTube Premium, but they're taking ownership a little bit more of the content, I think.
Fiverr be kind of interesting.
Again, I think that falls back into your selling your services. Like, let's say you're an animator, like Jonk is an animator. You can then say, if you want me to animate your story as a stickman, check me out on Fiverr.
I don't think you're allowed to take money out of a charity.
Yeah, I don't think you can really claim you're a charity.
But maybe. This is an interesting one. Hosting competitions. I could kind of see. I mean, this seems like a really big organized thing that a very large creator could pull off. But I could see selling tickets to such an event, and your YouTube channel is what made that event happen in the first place.
What we're trying to say here, I believe, Dan, is that there are many multiple ways of earning money outside of the YouTube platform, which means you have more control over those income revenue streams, but it requires a lot more work and input from yourself to set these up. And what I was coming round to is that you see the ticker tape thing that's running at the bottom, which allows you full access to vidIQ. We have now a phenomenal, a truly incredible course that is going to go through many of these opportunities. And it's delivered by, I would say, the expert, the leader in this space, somebody who over the course of 10 years has built an incredible empire through many of these revenue streams outside of YouTube. And it is Sean Cannell, and it is, I'm just getting it up on my screen in the background, how to turn your YouTube channel into a business. This is a 2 to 3 hour long course where, I don't know if you've met Sean before, you know he's an incredible educator, really passionate, highly motivational, and he goes through tons of stuff like how to make money from YouTube ads, affiliate marketing, crowdfunding, brand deals, selling something, and so on and so forth. I highly recommend, if you do want to take advantage of this free 30-day trial, visiting the vidIQ Academy and taking this course in particular. We have tons of courses here, but this one from Sean Cannell is just incredible. So take advantage of all of this if you want to.
Yeah, and you know, we're about to start answering your questions here for the next 90 minutes or so.
Oh, wow.
And we're not going to go, like, we're going to do our best. We're not going to go as deep as a course like that is going to go.
Correct.
So definitely check that out. And huge shout out to Sean for all his hard work on that course. So yeah, why don't we get into it? It's been about half hour since we started. I think we covered the basics. We did our overview of monetization, what it means. And now you're probably thinking, I would love to get there, guys. Is there anything you can do to help me? I have lots of questions. Well, if that's the case, please put #question in front of your question when you ask, because it really does help us out with finding your questions in chat. There's a lot of, and I love to see this. There's a lot of people helping each other out right now, answering questions amongst themselves. But if you're directing one at us, it really helps if you say #question.
Yeah, and we're going to try and star as many of these. So try not to repeat your questions too much. If we see them, we'll make sure to star them. And hey, we're offering a free, not legal tax advice live stream on monetization. If you do enjoy it, then hey, come on, give us a boop, as Nate would say from Channel Makers. Give us a like. Make sure to share this live stream if you think fellow creators would find this useful. And I see that slow mode has been activated, which means that you're going to be able to post a question or a comment every 45 seconds. That's just going to help us go through the questions. And as I'm talking to you face to face, camera to camera, I'm hoping that Dan in the background is starring some questions.
I was turning slow mode.
Yeah. All right.
But I did find one that I starred. Maybe you could.
All right. Right. So do you want to? Oh yeah, you started the same one as me. All right, Dan. So do you want to bring that one up, and then I'm gonna have a quick look through the questions as well.
Okay, cool. So the question from J4 Gaming is: I monetized and almost have my $100 threshold. Now, just for everybody listening, you need to make at least $100 before YouTube will pay you out. So that means if you make $75 in your first month, you have to wait till next month until you perhaps make another $75 before you get all of that money. So the minimum threshold is $100. Is there a time limit that you need to earn $100? Does it reset every month? No, YouTube isn't going to take money away from you if that's what you mean. If you hit $99 and you just missed it by $1, and then the next month it rolls over into the next month. So all you need to do then is make $1. So if you made 99 in January, you just need to make $1 in February, and you'll reach the payout threshold.
All right, I started quite a few there, Dan. I'm seeing quite a few questions that are non-monetization related. What we're going to try and do for at least an hour is we're going to try and keep it monetization related. And then if we're struggling, we may broaden it out. Because I'm seeing questions about click-through rate. So yeah, we're sticking to monetization at least for now. And I think, Dan, you answered that one very, very accurately and adequately. And so let's bring up the next one, and maybe I can tackle it, as I'm desperately trying to fix my microphone again. I found that, yeah, so look at this, right? So I've tightened it as much as I can. And now it actually stays in position. Right, okay. But no, it's gone again, right?
Oh my gosh.
I found that, can somebody please buy me a new thingy arm for $100? Yeah, with your first $100, spend it on me. I found that one can get 1,000 subscribers easily, but not 4,000 hours of watch time. What is the best strategy for 4,000 watch hours quickly? And how do you say of, well, I think it's, what do you say of quantity over quality? So this would suggest to me maybe one of two things. Either you've got a lot of subscribers through shorts, and that means you're not really earning much watch time, or the content that you are making is not relevant enough for viewers to continue watching your content. So people subscribe, but then they quickly abandon your content. Dan has made a phenomenal video about this week, about how to start creating content for your ideal viewing candidate, the one person you want to watch every single one of your videos. Because funnily enough, there's not just one of those that exist out in the YouTube universe. There are probably hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, if not millions of like-minded people who want to watch that similar type of content. So I highly recommend you watch that to start building out an audience that's going to keep coming back to your content, which of course is going to increase your watch time significantly, because they're going to keep watching it, and then YouTube's going to share that content with even more viewers.
Mm-hmm.
And then over on the second part, Jake Fellman has actually just done a collaboration with YouTube, and they were asking him what his recommendations were, and he was saying, which I am glad someone else has mentioned, that is that focus on quantity over quality as a new creator, so that you're building up experience and you're not worrying too much about, making a perfect video the first time round. You're just going to build all of the skill sets to the point where you look at your content from 3 months ago and you're such a better creator because you've gone through that process of creating content 5, 10, 20 times. Dan, thoughts, or let's jump on to the next question.
Just back to what you were saying about the video we made recently talking about finding your ideal viewer. I think this is an exercise a lot of people don't take the time to do. It's certainly one that I didn't do when I started on YouTube and never really thought to do. But the more and more creators I talk to who actually have gone through these steps have seen a lot more success on YouTube a lot faster. So the video lays it out really well, and Rob described it really well. But yes, it is about figuring out the one person who would watch all of your content. So please do go check that out. It was released on Monday. And yeah, I do hope that finds you well. All right. So I'm trying to start some more questions. That one at the bottom, I'll let you star or unstar if you feel like it's relevant. Okay. So this next one.
Set them in order if that's all right.
Yeah. I'm just talking about when we get there. Just make sure to take a look at that one. I have 32,000 subs.
We've just kind of watched this, answered this. Lots of subs, but not enough watch time. So we've basically just answered that. Hopefully, you were listening 5 minutes ago when we were talking about that in detail.
All right. So another one here from Crunchy Cookie. A good mic for $100-ish or less.
So if you want something that's versatile and you can use in more than one place, for example, you can plug it into a computer, but then you could also plug it into your camera. A Rode Video Micro might be a good place to start because it's super tiny and it's just a 3.5 millimeter cable. So that allows you to plug it into both computers and cameras, and it doesn't need any more power. If the camera itself powers it, so that's really good. If you want to get something that's just like a condenser microphone, so it sounds really cool and bassy, like what you're hearing now with Dan. I think Dan, it sounds like yours is one of the best suggestions.
I do like mine. It does go on sale from time to time, but yeah, it's around $100. This one's called an AT2020 or Audio Technica. That's the brand. And they make it's been upgraded long since I've gotten this one, so there's better versions of it now. But they make one that's XLR and they make one that's USB. XLR is this.
Yeah, so we need to be clear about that. XLR would mean that you would require additional hardware to plug it into a computer, because you need something that basically converts that cable into a USB cable. But there is a USB version as well, which maybe doesn't sound quite as good because it's not going through an amp, but it's still of a generally good quality, right?
Yeah, I wanted XLR because I'm kind of a snob about this stuff and I want more control. And I've always had some kind of audio mixer to go along with it. But if you don't need that. That's, again, like, these are things you just kind of pick up along the way. So I use now a Rodecaster Pro, but that's another investment that I made into the channel, and not one that is required at all for, audio that sounds great. It just kind of comes down to personal preference as you start to get up the ladder in terms of gear that you buy.
You cannot go wrong with blue microphones, whether it be, if you could get like a Blue Yeti on sale or a Blue Snowball, they tend to be about $50, $60. And just as an entry point microphone, they're pretty excellent.
Yeah. Are you finding one, or?
I'm trying to find my little video microphone. If I can see it, I can find it. I'll be back in a second.
This poor gold play button.
Here we go. So this was like my first external dedicated microphone, and you can see how diddy it is. So it's really compact, but that's a connector, and that allows you to plug it into a camera or the laptop's or a computer's headphone jack as a microphone, and the quality is pretty good as long as you can get it as close to your voice as possible, because that's another key component of any microphone, really. And I think this was when I bought it, maybe 70, 80 bucks Canadian. So you're probably looking at 50, 60 US. And also Deity, I've heard a very good microphone makers these days.
Mm-hmm.
So plenty of options. It's almost like go to Amazon, see what has like 4.5 stars with like 1,000 reviews. So you never, most of them are going to legitimate. You can't really go wrong.
So there you go. Hopefully that helps. I think that's the most we've ever talked about microphones.
Yeah, it might be.
So this is a really good one. There seems to be an unwritten rule about not asking for super chats. What is your opinion on using super chats to grow a channel?
So we don't have that much experience, me personally, with this type of thing, like encouraging people to donate. I think if you're just asking and then the person who does the super chat doesn't get anything in return, then that feels like it's a bit, begging almost. So what you need to do is turn the super chat itself into an experience. I saw Travis doing this a number of years ago now, where whenever somebody donated a super chat, he would play some music or a sound effect and he would dance to the super chat as a celebration. And then like loads of people were giving him super chats and he was having to dance quite a lot, which was quite funny. So just turn the ask into a reward. Yeah, if somebody gives you a super chat, acknowledge it, make something special out of it so that the person who gave you the super chat feels special themselves.
Yeah, I don't right now. I don't ask because I don't offer anything like that in return. But back in my Minecrafting days, I would ask through making it an event. And so for me, when I was playing Minecraft, I had a mod installed called Chance Cubes, and these cubes would spawn automatically when someone gave money, and I would have to open them, and anything could happen with this cube. Usually it was bad, but there were sometimes it was good. Sometimes cool stuff would pop out, but a lot of times it would basically destroy everything I was doing. And so that encouraged a lot of super chats. I will warn against stuff like that because it took a toll on my mental health because I found myself having to start all over again a lot, and the game became a lot less fun to play for me. So you want to make sure when you incentivize like that, you don't do something that's going to tax you extra in some kind of way, mentally or physically. Like I talked to one creator who actually would like physically hand draw people something. And it got to a point where they were getting so many memberships or super chats or whatever it was that they couldn't keep up with demand anymore. So you have to be really careful, but that seems to be the right way to ask. Otherwise, if you're just saying, by the way, you guys know you can hit like, subscribe, and you can leave me money down below. That's not, I would agree that part would be an unwritten rule. I think a lot of people would advise against that. But having the option there, sometimes you'll find that people just want to support you.
Okay, I've added some more questions to the list. Folks, please, monetization questions. That's what we're trying to field for the time being.
All right. So if you have a copyright claimed video or videos, before you apply for the YouTube Partnership Program, does it go against you getting partnered?
Okay, this is an interesting question. I need to just go back to my screen to show you something interesting if it's still there. So just bear with me. I need to go here, click there, etc., etc. Right. So let me just have my screen again so you can all see this. Yep. So where it says 0 active community guideline strikes, if I mouse over that, what affects your eligibility? Only active community guideline strikes prevent you from applying. Warnings, expired community guideline strikes, and copyright strikes do not impact your eligibility. So copyright strikes apparently don't impact eligibility, but with a copyright strike, that video would have been removed from YouTube, so nobody's watching it. However, if you have a video that's on YouTube and has copyright claims on it, so people can still watch it and ad revenue is being earned, then it does become a bit of a murky question as to you've earned, let's say, 40 to 50% of your watch time from videos that have copyright claims on them. Now, this is just my opinion. I don't work for YouTube, but I would be asking the question in my head, well, if this content's already been monetized and they're just getting copyright claimed all of the time, what is the value of them being in a YouTube partner program? Because that's just going to continue to happen. So maybe we need to tell them that they're using too much reused content, that kind of vague answer they sometimes give when you're not accepted into the partner program, and then allow you to sort that out. And then when you remove those videos with copyright claims, like you're only 20% of a way towards the target. Now, this is just all my head thoughts, theories, speculations. I don't know how true that is. I've never been able to come across a creator that's been able to show me that they had tons of copyright claims and have been accepted into the YouTube partner program, or like they've had just one copyright claim with only 10 hours of watch time that has not allowed them in. It's a gray area, but I'm just thinking common sense. What you need to be doing going forward with your relationship with YouTube is trying to make original or transformative content that's not getting copyright claims so that you are earning the revenue on YouTube's behalf for your channel.
Well said.
Thank you. Thank you. I thought I did quite well there for once.
Yeah, and it is nice too, because when you go to that page in the tooltip that YouTube gives you, does try to lay it out a little bit. So that is good. So this next one here, do we want to tackle that one?
Sure.
Okay, cool. Let's see. I know it's because it wasn't directly monetization related, but still an interesting one we should probably look at. I use vidIQ Pro, but sometimes rankings of my videos keep shifting. Do I need to keep going back to old videos and editing my descriptions and titles?
I mean, it depends. Sometimes the rankings might be shifting because the information on that content has changed and there are more relevant videos, or new creators have created better content on that particular search term. So now they're getting preferential treatment. Maybe there is an argument that you should go back and edit your thumbnail and your title in particular if you want to try and repitch it to the audience. But you may also want to remake the video because in that time you may have learned new things about the topic that you want to show with your audience. Example from us, Dan has made a video about how to start your gaming channel in 2020, 2021, and now he's about to do one for 2022. And we hope that with the new information that he's learned and the new techniques and strategies he's going to share, that's going to re-bump us up back to the top of the search ranking so that we can maintain an iron grip, an iron-like vice on that search term. Pressure's on you, Dan.
Yeah, and with that video, like when you go back to remake content, I always try and find more new information to add for the folks who've seen it before. But I also go with the understanding that it's going to reach people who've never seen the content before. So I don't bother too much with this whole thing about, hey, so we did a video about this, and we did a video about that, and give them a whole recap. Just remember that people are finding this for the first time as well. But it is absolutely okay to go back and make new videos about topics you've previously covered. There's always something new that you can bring to those conversations, in my experience. So yeah, the thing I always caution people against when they're worried, like, should I be going back and like doing this or doing that to my older videos? You certainly can. And in fact, somebody who we know in the creator space, Film Booth, Ed over at Film Booth, advises you do this too. They took some time themselves to go in and kind of polish up some older content, and in that time, they actually grew their channel. They found that much success doing that. But that is a time investment still. And when you do that, like the consequence of that was he wasn't able to make a lot of videos in that time because he was so busy fixing up the older ones. So you have to kind of just choose for yourself if you feel like that's worth it.
Did you see his latest video, Dan, with his time traveling, dimension traveling bin?
Yes.
He's just a genius. Just a genius. Good. Yeah. Recommend you watch him if you can.
Yeah. Thank you for that question. We got one here from Tutorials Mag.
I like this one. This is a good one.
Yeah. Are subs really essential for monetization, or is it just for the sake of meeting a requirement? Because monetization is based on the user, not skipping ads that are played during the video.
I don't really understand what they're talking about on the second sentence, but yes, in short, subscribers are essential for a requirement, be it the custom URLs at 100 subscribers, community tab at 500 subscribers, and yes, indeed, 1,000 subscribers for monetization.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Dan and I collectively are going through a series of videos where we're going to try and help you get to shoving one of these in a random place, 0 to 1 million subscribers. And I've just finished my video on how to get 100 subscribers. And it is still focusing on the fact that, you need to get these numbers to unlock this, to get that, and whatever. And Dan will probably be doing more or less the same thing in his 1,000 subscriber video. And Dan, I think we should talk about that actually after this live stream a little bit.
Yeah.
I think, again, this is me personally, I think once you get beyond 1,000 subscribers, so you are monetized, then I think your mindset needs to shift a little bit from subscribers to return viewers. Now, these two kind of go hand in hand anyway. But the thing about subscribers is that usually people don't unsubscribe. I mean, yes, people do unsubscribe, but usually the subscriber count is always going up. Whereas return viewers can really fluctuate and go up and down depending on the type of content you're making for your audience. And so to build your community over the long term, to then ensure that each video is getting more views than the last, then you start to need to focus on return viewers. But to begin with, I think, the way that YouTube set up these requirements, subscribers are essential. So you are, I guess, pleading a little bit more for the click, the subscriber button. I don't know if anybody's noticed this yet, but since we passed 1 million subscribers, I've now actually removed all of our subscriber calls to action. We don't need them now to get the little trinket. So yeah, I'm not using them anymore.
I think when it comes to this, I can see kind of where Tutorials Mag is coming from, because it's kind of like we sit here and talk about how subscribers don't really matter, right? It really does come down to return viewers. Like that's your audience at the time, right now, because you can hit subscribe. Most people don't ever hit unsubscribe, and they can since leave your channel and never return. But I still think if you can't monetize everybody, then as a requirement, subscribers is a good one to go for, because it's kind of a longevity play. You're getting people to hit that button over the course of time, so you're basically proving to YouTube, like, I'm in this, okay? Because if you can get 1,000 subscribers, that's really impressive. It takes a lot of time and effort to do. It's more than just getting a like on a video. There's at least for that time period, that moment someone hits the button, there's that like little bit of commitment that they're making to you. Like, I like you this much, click, and they hit what I like to call the like button for your entire channel.
All right, managed to start a couple more there, Don, which was good as you finished off that question.
So, any tip for getting sponsors if my main audience doesn't live in the same country as I do? They don't even speak the same language. My audience is 90% Latin American, and I live in Germany. I don't know how you've managed this.
Yeah, that's a feat. I guess, unless you were originally from Argentina, Colombia, that area of the world, and you just now live in Germany and you're creating content. So I guess the path to least resistance would be to start reaching out to the companies, brands, and deals that are operating in Latin America.
Yeah, I guess that's the best you can do. I was trying to think, like, is there a brand that notoriously has like people doing ads for them that are silent, but the stuff on the screen is all you need? I don't know. Maybe that'd be a negotiation. Like, if it needs to transcend language, that might be between you and the brand manager, or the marketing team at that company. Like, hey, here's the unique content that I make, and it needs to transcend all language because I'm catering to this audience, So it's really interesting.
In your media kit, if you have one or you decide to build one, just make sure that you include those demographics, and that you say that 90% of my audience is in these countries, which I think is going to be beneficial to your brand, because that's where you mostly operate. But that's very general advice. Obviously, you're going to need to do a lot of research to determine exactly who you might be approaching. I guess you need to look at similar channels in your area. So that might be going to the YouTube studio and looking at that box panel that says videos your viewers are watching, see what type of adverts and brand deals are potentially being shown on their channels, and then maybe you can start to approach them if you think your channel is ready for such income.
So best of luck. It's a really interesting position you're in. What type of ads should I put in a video? Skippable, overlay ads, non-skippable, etc.
So this is a tough one for me, Dan, because this is really ironic in that I have been out of the ad revenue game now for almost 4 years. The moment I joined vidIQ, it's like I've never clicked that monetization checkbox. Just from a complete layman, I would just turn everything on and let YouTube figure out where are the best places to put adverts and what adverts to put on. And then if I start to notice this a significant decrease in watch time or comments complaining about too many ads, then I would maybe start to readjust that. But I don't how often do people complain about adverts in the comments and things like that? Feels to me these days like it's just an accepted part of YouTube. I think the one thing I wouldn't do is manually start putting in as many mid-roll ads as possible. You know,
Right.
again, just let YouTube do that, unless you are strategically putting in fade to black scene changes where you think you're going to put an advert in the video, and then what's the acceptable threshold? Maybe an advert every 7 or 8 minutes in mid-roll would be, again, a bit of a guesstimate.
So I do the opposite of what you're seeing right now on my channel. I have all of these ticked, and I have this one unticked. And that's literally what I do. And that's just for your upload default. So every video will take on this default.
True. Yeah.
So you can change it per video. As a personal, this is very personal to me. As a personal belief, I'm not into these. I'm not a mid-roll guy. To me, as a viewer, I'm very sensitive to ads to the point where I have YouTube Premium. Okay, so just take this with a grain of salt. But when I see a mid-roll, that is my invitation to leave the video if I want to. If I feel like I've gotten enough, and that's what we're trying to avoid, right? Like we want the highest viewed percentage like possible on a video. When I invite people to leave my content, that's going to take a hit. So a lot of people try and make their videos 8 or 10 minutes, whatever the requirement is, to get mid-rolls, thinking, oh, I'm going to make a bunch of money. I would love to see some data on what happens when they actually activate those. I haven't, but I would love to see if I'm right, if it caused more people to drop out when those ads appeared. So that's my thing. You can let YouTube put them in for you. I think a lot of viewers are probably not like me. There's probably plenty of viewers out there who are just accustomed to seeing them all the time. So it's, they're just numb to it. But for me, I usually end up clicking off. It's kind of like when you're listening to the radio in the car and commercials start playing, you immediately start trying to find a station that has music again. So that's kind of how I am with ads and mid-rolls.
I'm going to argue that a little bit, Dan, but
again, I'm very sensitive.
Yeah.
I'm just a very sensitive individual about that.
I think these are all just personal opinions on like their viewing habits. Like when I'm watching content, especially because often what I do when I'm having lunch, I'll watch YouTube videos. And I think if I'm like 4 or 5 minutes into a video, at that point, it's like, all right, I'm invested now. I'm prepared to accept a mid-roll ad. Because you lose a lot of people in the first minute or two. So obviously you probably don't want to put an ad there. But I think once you're well into a video and the audience retention is fairly level at that point, then you can probably get away with mid-roll ads. But as you say, I think this is just different opinions and neither is right or wrong.
Yeah, for me, it wakes me up a little bit. Like I realize just how long I've been watching. But that is just me. You're right. If you're willing to watch a 10-minute video all the way through, you are probably somebody willing to, watch that mid-roll ad and not think much of it. So it's just, it's an interesting way of looking at it. And like anything, test it. If you test mid-rolls on 5 videos and then not have them on 5 other videos and just kind of see which ones had better view percentages, maybe you want a larger swath of videos, but just as an example. Okay, so we got that one. Can I depend on shorts to earn lots of money?
No and no. What's
the first no?
Let's answer the second no first. Right now, you cannot earn lots of money on YouTube Shorts because there is a cap of $10,000. Now, obviously, $10,000 to some people is a lot of money, but you're only looking at the top 0.1% of Shorts creators who are probably earning that type of money, and they can't earn any more than that. It doesn't matter if they get 17 billion views; they will only get $10,000. So, no, you can't earn a lot of money right now until the monetization mechanisms on YouTube Shorts mature a little bit more and there's more opportunities in platform. Can you depend on them? No, but that's a bit of an unknown question. And I have a video on this coming out tomorrow, because what YouTube have literally just announced, I think in the last week, is that they're rolling out Shorts eligibility for the bonus payments to, I think, 120 countries and regions, whereas before it was 40. So that means tons more people are now eligible for these Shorts, but there's still the same amount of money to be shared around between those creators. So how are YouTube effectively going to do that? Does it now mean that you'll need to get more Shorts views to earn $100? Or is it going to be a lottery-based system whereby, let's say you need to earn 1 million views in order to be eligible, and let's say 500 people meet that requirement, but YouTube only picks 125 of them because that's all the budget they've got to share in that bucket. These are all just thoughts, theories, and speculations, by the way. I would love to know if any Shorts creators, let's say they got 2 million views in October and they got $100, but then they got 3 million views in November, but they didn't get a payment. Because I think there's a key word in there from YouTube, and that is bonus payments. As if, yeah, sometimes you'll get a payment, sometimes you won't. It depends on many different factors, and we're not going to tell you exactly what they are from a YouTube perspective.
I do think in the future, the Shorts can find a way to be monetized. It's a goal YouTube has, but they're not telling anybody where they're at with that or what is promised or anything. So it's just something to look out for.
Which is fair. I remember 12 months ago, had you even watched a YouTube Short at that point? Now people are earning revenue from it within a very short amount of time. So imagine what the landscape could be this time next year.
Sarah Dawn says, I've already got some affiliate product links, and I'd like to do a little bit of built-in ads in the videos, but the videos aren't sponsored, and I'm really struggling with the wording. Thoughts?
Okay, so
they can't say this video is brought to you by company name here.
So this is another interesting thing that probably we should look at here, Dan. I'm gonna have to switch accounts again. Now, let me see if I can find this section of the video. Are we talking about this thing here? My video contains paid promotion like product placement, sponsorships, or endorsements. As far as I'm aware, because you're not being paid directly by the brand or company to make the video, you wouldn't have to tick this. An affiliate link is something that you're recommending as a product to buy, and you're going to earn potential, I guess, commission from it, but you're not directly contracted by the product to talk about this product. So I don't think you need to tick that, but you may need to include a disclaimer in the description. I think you could go to any YouTube channel that is doing affiliate links and see what they include in their description. And then I've kind of forgot what the question was a little bit about.
So they're struggling with the wording. And I was going to say the people who, when it comes to product affiliate deals, the people who I've seen do really well at this are anyone who cover, like Think Media, for example, they cover gear a lot. So they'll talk about all the gear that they're talking about in the video. And then they'll say, by the way, if you're looking to pick any of this up, there are links down below. And sometimes a lot of creators will say, like, these are affiliate links, by the way. So full disclosure, if you click on those links, you're directly supporting me as a creator. Thank you very much. And they just kind of, boom, like just get in, get out. So it's not a whole, by the way, this video is brought to you by this microphone. It's more like, here's all the stuff, here's the value of it. Hey, by the way, you can support me and go buy it for yourself. Links down below.
That's the key thing, I think, there, Dan. Provide as much value and honest opinion as you can on the product before the affiliate disclaimer.
Exactly. Yeah. So great question. I think that's a very fair, like, the easiest thing to say in the world is like, thank you for so-and-so for sponsoring this video, right? Which would be awesome, but that's not what's happening. So
correct.
You do need to get creative with that. But I do hope we did help. All right. How do you know how well your community guidelines status is going?
Well, you just go to the monetization screen and you look at that requirement. And if it's at 0, you're doing a good job.
Hey!
YouTube will email you. They will stamp your video full of warnings if you break community guidelines. So I guess in order to avoid ever being hit by one, do the research first to understand what videos are accepted in terms of guidelines. Yeah, just you don't have to show that.
I'm just showing you what it might look like in your dashboard. If something happens, oftentimes there's an important notification. So just be on the lookout for those too. I think YouTube is trying to do a better job of putting those in front of you. We weren't surprised to see that, by the way. That was just it's great that it's there for an example. Sorry, Rob, if you're upset.
For demonstration purposes.
Yes, that's all it is. Okay, so next question here on the list is, does it make a massive difference if you use your revenue? Wait. If you are to use your revenue to not include swearing. Okay, so does it make a difference to swear or not in your content when it comes to revenue?
Okay, so I think this is another opportunity where we can share something here. Let's go to monetization. Now, I don't know if this is going to work. Let's see if it does. If I turn on monetization for this, it should, I think, yes. So it brings up the self-certification. So this is essentially the ad friendly guidelines and policies, and it will tell you what's going to happen if you use certain profanity and language and whatnot. So I could say, I say like light profanity. That's fine. It's not going to cause any issues there. It's a bit stronger language. All right, then you may be limited. Extreme profanity, again, limited. So you may still get ads on your videos, but they may be limited, restricted. You may not earn as much ad revenue. And it will, I think, put a little icon, like a yellow icon next to the video to let you know that. So yeah, there are potential issues with using certain language, but you'll probably watch many creators and they'll be swearing left, right, and center. And you'll think, hey, this seems all right. This seems fine. And I think YouTube are fairly good with that, from what I understand. But again, I'm not in the ad revenue game right now. So it's difficult to test unless I decide to read off a list of very inappropriate words on a video and then test it to find out, which I'm not about to do.
It is something there's a creator I follow, and I'm going to be vague here because I don't know if I should reveal who they are or not. And also I can't remember if it was TikTok or YouTube they're referring to, but they've been making an effort in their YouTube comment to not swear. I don't remember if it was for the purposes of the TikTok content or not, but basically making this effort not to swear. And they've been saying that their results have been positive,
Right.
in terms of revenue. So it's something they decided to test out, and they like the results. So again, you could, like we were talking about earlier, you could do 10 videos where you cuss up a storm and do 10 videos where you don't, and see how things go for you. But definitely fill out the self-certification honestly. Don't skimp on that. Don't try and be like, oh, I didn't swear. They have robots that can hear you.
Yeah, YouTube's not just taking you at your word. They are also, automation is checking that as well. So if you are dishonest, then YouTube's going to trust you less, and maybe you'll start to get more restrictions in terms of ad revenue on your content. Remember, I think this is something that people kind of forget, in that it's all like behind computers and screens and whatnot. You're actually entering into a business relationship with a company. Like YouTube, I guess, is your first brand deal or sponsor. And there's going to be certain expectations. and if you annoy them, they're not going to want to pay you any money. So just consider that.
Yeah. We've come a long way from the days where you could just get away with anything on YouTube. And as the platform matures, that's just what's going to happen. And every platform that comes up and doesn't have these rules is going to eventually need to implement these rules. So, that's I think YouTube's doing a great job, though. I think the self-certification was a really cool thing that they added to the process. I think it clears up a lot of confusion. My guess is some people are confused about the term subscribers because Twitch has those as a thing that people pay money for. I would agree. There's people who I talk to who are not super familiar with YouTube, especially folks in like the older generations who don't watch it too much. If you suggest to them, oh, subscribe to that channel so you see their videos more often, they're like, I don't want to pay for anything, because they're thinking like in terms of magazine subscriptions too. Like, it's not just Twitch. Like, subscription has been used alongside the term money for a long time. So just an interesting thing to point out that on Twitch and YouTube, yeah, there is a difference. It's on Twitch, it's followers. That's the free thing you can do. And then subscribing costs money. On YouTube, it's memberships. That's the money thing you can do on YouTube. So good thing to point out there. All right. Ben Re-Added asks, hi vidIQ, how long did it take to get paid after you reach the threshold? How long does it take to get paid after you reach the threshold?
So I think the general flow is this. I'll try and do it as a timeline. Let's say at the end of October, YouTube collates how much you've earned, and you earn $100. Okay. I'm trying to remember if this is right. I might be wrong about this.
Do you want me to? I do this all the time.
Yeah, go on, Dan. Go on. I forgot. I can't remember if it's 60 days from that point or 30 days.
I believe so. What it is for me is if I earn $100 in October,
yeah,
the pay comes out like the day I get paid is usually on or around the 20th of the month every month, and I'm getting paid in November for October's earnings.
Correct. Yes. But then does it take another 30 days for that money to get out of AdSense into your bank account? That's what I couldn't remember.
That right, literally in my bank account is the $100 from October.
Right. So usually 30 days, I think. Well, that's not actually true, because let's say you hit $100 on the first of a month. You pass the threshold at the first of a month. YouTube doesn't collate that information until the end of a month, does it? Because like, I think it does payouts on a certain date of a month. So let's say you got to $101 on the first of a month. It doesn't automatically say, right, we're going to pay you out in the next 30 days. I think it waits until the end of a month.
Yeah, everyone.
So you might be like $150 by that point, and then 30 days after that, you get paid. You'll get paid your money into your bank account.
As far as I understand, at least for like some creator friends of mine and myself, our paydays seem to be about the same. So whenever you earned the money, it just collects all the money from the month, and then your payday is going to be the following month or on or around the 20th. So it's like whatever you earned in October, and let's say you earned $50 in the month prior to that, and that rolled over into October. You know what I mean? So there's always that. You have to get paid with everybody else.
Yeah.
And probably the first month, there might be a delay, because it seems like every time you get into a new agreement, there's always delays as well.
I feel as if I've overcomplicated the answer to this, and like Ben Re-Added is now like, oh, really confused.
Sorry.
I think it's safe to say you should be paid within 60 days. I think
60 easily. I think as long as you've met the threshold.
If it's over 2 months and you hit the threshold, then you probably need to investigate what's going on.
Yes. All right. If someone does not watch the ad fully, do you still get paid or not?
I think so.
I think so too.
As long as the ad is displayed to somebody, then the advertiser has bought time on your video. I don't know. You may get paid more if somebody watches an entire 2.5-minute ad or something. Good question.
You might get paid if they click.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if you get paid. I suspect not. I don't think YouTube credits you with conversions, because I don't think it's your job to get them to convert to click on the advert. I think it's just displaying the advert. Good question. I got to be honest, I don't fully know the answer. if you contact Team YouTube and you get an answer from them, I'd love to hear it. But I'm going with the answer of I think you just get paid based on the ad being displayed.
I think so too. I think that's why you're seeing movie trailers start with a 5-second trailer before the trailer starts.
Correct. Yeah.
They try and like condense everything as fast as they can because they know you're about to click off. And that's because they have to pay for that time one way or another. So they got to put their product in your face. They got 5 seconds of your time. So you do get paid something for that. But yeah, what we don't fully know is if you get paid more for someone having watched the whole trailer, for example. Is it good that I already have ads on my channel? The ads are the same as the big names in my niche too. I have not the hours yet, but soon. So I guess they're not monetized yet, but they're getting ads.
Correct. This is something that YouTube introduced, I believe, this year, when they can now basically put ads on anybody's content. I think as long as the content isn't copyright claimed, which would allow whoever to put adverts on it anyway. Like if you are just creating content and YouTube is advertising on it, I think that's a very good signal that your content is completely appropriate for ad policies, guidelines, and whatever. And so that when you monetize, yeah, welcome it. I think it's a good thing. I see that as a positive sign. I see that as YouTube has identified content where it knows the target, it knows the demographics of the audience, so it knows it can put adverts on it. And it's a good sign.
How many subscribers do you need to add an affiliate link to your video?
0. This is not a YouTube thing. This is an off-platform thing. But what I will say is that I'm pretty sure there's some guidelines on using affiliate links. So do make sure to consult those guidelines so that you're adding your links correctly and talking about them correctly in your videos.
Yeah, every company that has an affiliate program will probably have their own policies. You may not get accepted with 0 subscribers. They may have their own requirements for getting into the program. But if they accept you into the program, you can put those links wherever, as long as you follow everybody's guidelines on both the place you're putting them and the affiliate guidelines. But yeah, the point is to get people to click on the link. So yeah, YouTube doesn't stop you from doing that.
Now, having said all of that, Dan, I think YouTube did mention, I believe it was this year or last year, but they're going to start experimenting with a carousel of products on videos. Let's say you talk about microphones or whatever. YouTube may be able to detect that and then put links underneath. So that could kind of be a future way of having baked in affiliate purchases on videos. And I would imagine that would be part of the YouTube partner program. If it's ever done, that'd be brilliant, though, wouldn't it? Like if you could, let's say I'm talking about this Infinity Gauntlet, and then like a link, almost like it gets highlighted, and then somebody could click on it and literally go and purchase it. I think that is like the ideal future that video platforms would like to go in. But again, this is just all theory and things you'd like to see maybe.
Amazon did this with Twitch, or they at least talked about it. I think it might be a thing. Like if you're playing a game on Twitch, users can click on the game and they get brought to the Amazon store page for it, and that should benefit the partner on the Twitch partner in question. I know they talked about doing that. I just don't know if they implemented it. I'm not on there a whole lot, so sorry, but it wouldn't be unprecedented for sure. What is your reasoning to not having a channel membership?
Generally speaking, the same reason we don't have any monetization ad revenue on our channel. We want to try and offer as much value and education on the vidIQ channel as possible for free. So we'd just be creating a financial barrier. Instead of channel memberships, I guess what we would argue we have is the vidIQ Academy, where we have deeper learning and courses, which is behind our products and services. But as you can see in the link in the ticker tape and in the description, you can get all of that for free. And so I guess instead of YouTube taking a 30% cut of channel memberships, if we sell the Academy as part of vidIQ, then we're taking 100% of the income.
There you go. If you bleep swear words, does that count?
What does it count as swearing? I would assume not, because I don't
Yeah.
think YouTube can, or YouTube's AI can differentiate what's hidden behind a bleep.
Yeah. It's the context might be there, and there might be some, you know, depending on what was said, what you're bleeping out, there might be some community guidelines. Like there might be some nuance to this, but yeah, generally bleeping stuff is safe. If you dropped an F-bomb by mistake during a live stream and then you want to repurpose that content later and you would like that to go away, you can probably go in and I don't know how you would do that actually. I know you can edit things, but I don't know if you can add bleeps. That'd be kind of interesting. Do you know if their editor lets you do that?
What was that? Sorry.
So if if you did a live stream, you dropped an
Yeah.
F-bomb and you're like,
Yeah.
oh crud, I don't want that in the live stream. Can you go back and add a sound effect like that using their editor?
You can add music. That is a good question. I'm just gonna play around with that in the background then. Let's find out.
Something's trying to fall off my desk and it's making a huge mess and I'm trying to mitigate the damage here. Okay. Everything's fine.
Audio library. Let's see. So it looks like you can only add music to a video through the editor. So I don't think you could add sound effects.
So that's a bad example of what I was giving. But if maybe you wanted to use the clip later and you decided to bleep the F-bomb, it should not be a problem.
You would just have to trim it completely from the video, which you can do in the editor.
In the editor, you could just trim it out. Yeah. Okay, that should be a feature. You can now blur stuff in the editor, so that would be a cool feature to.
If it automatically detected any profanity, you could just bleep it out.
Yeah. Are there hidden requirements for tech channels before getting monetized? Interesting.
No, not as far as I'm aware. I'm intrigued to know why you asked the question.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what type of channel you are. All of the requirements are exactly the same.
And after this, we've exhausted our well, so we need to go back and star stuff. Sorry, I should have been contributing more. If I plan on starting a Patreon where I post 2 podcasts per month, at what sub count should I start trying to monetize in this way as well? Currently at 700 subscribers. Well, okay, so the second part of the question is I'm a little bit confused. If
Sorry,
I'm
starring stuff here. I'll get back to you in a second.
Okay, so if you start a Patreon and you're posting 2 podcasts a month, so you're putting them behind a paywall, at what sub count, I'm guessing on YouTube, should I start monetizing in this way as well? So you want your videos to also be behind a paywall? There's no, I guess the short answer for me, regardless of what it is you're putting behind the paywall, there's no number. There's no like set number. Oh, that should be 1,000 subscribers. There's nothing like that. That kind of comes down to you and the relationship you have with your audience. How many do you feel you should have? Is subscribers the right metric to be using, or should you be looking at how many views you get on average?
If it's, let's just say, so tech investing. So let's just say your target audience is people who are already investing in tech in some way, and they have a lot of disposable income, and it's very, very niche. Then it might be that you can start doing this at 200 subscribers. Whereas if it's a tech channel that's just basically talking about mobile phones and like all of the stuff that the big tech channel creators talk about, then you need thousands, if not tens of thousands of subscribers, because there's a much lower point of interest to invest in you, so to speak. But
basically, at what point should I start Patreon is what they're asking, and that is, again, I think that's between you and your audience. There's really no hard and fast rule. I would caution against starting it too soon, just because you end up having to promote it a lot and you're still trying to build that audience. You might still be working on the rest of your content, the quality portion of your content, to get it to a standard in which people stick around for the whole time. You know, it just depends on where you're at as a creator too. A lot of factors here.
I managed to start some more stuff, Dan. Where?
I had started looking again myself, which is how I found that extra bit of the response. Okay. So the next one would be, I have vidIQ Basic. Can I still get the 30-day free trial?
Yes, as long as you are not an existing paying customer with vidIQ, you are free to use that trial.
Or if you haven't used it before, if you've used it before, you can't use it again.
Correct. So you can only use a trial once.
Yeah.
So as long as you're a new customer who's never paid for vidIQ and you haven't used the trial before, then yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Sorry, just wanted to
No,
clarify.
you do right. You do right.
Question. I have been a long-time YouTube Premium subscriber. How do my views affect those channels' monetization? If I skip to the middle or at the end, does the creator lose ad revenue?
So, as far as I'm aware, creators still do get revenue from those who are in YouTube Premium. Basically, YouTube Premium is something that allows you to get more content on YouTube, but also it just doesn't show ads anywhere. But I think YouTube recognizes that. And like, I know when I was monetizing my channel, I did earn a little bit of revenue from premium subscribers, but there are the number of premium subscribers versus people who are just on YouTube, it's a tiny fraction. I don't know if it makes any difference in terms of a watch time on the videos. I would assume not. Again, I would assume if you're watching a video where an ad would have been placed, then you would earn the revenue that you were supposed to. Again, another very deep technical question. I don't fully know the answer to that.
I don't either. I would suspect that a premium view is just a view at that point. If someone took time to watch your content, premium knows it's not going to show them an ad. So
I would also say from the viewer's point of view, that's not really your concern. I don't think you should watch an entire video just so that creator is going to benefit from maybe an extra 10, 15 cents because you watched it until the end of the video. The creator's job is to satisfy you to the end of the video with the value of their content.
Right. So it's the same as if you're not a premium subscriber. If you skip half their video, that impacts the video in another way, not necessarily ad revenue directly, but the fact that video, if everyone's doing that, that video might be getting shared less. That might, it might affect how it appears in recommendations. So that's more of the consequence there of leaving someone's content early or skipping ahead or whatever. And that, again, don't feel bad about doing that ever. Like YouTube is all about, as the viewer, your satisfaction. All right. Why is my own music production coming up as copyright claimed? What's the best way to fix that without moving your song? Oh, I love vidIQ. It helps. Thank you.
Interesting question. I kind of wish we had Emily on to maybe answer this one a little bit more, but we will try our best. I guess one reason why they might be coming up as copyright claimed is because potentially, but I'm just only making assumptions here, you're using beats or tracks that are already copyright claimed by somebody else. If it is completely your own original production and you can prove it, that's the most important thing, you can prove it, then you should dispute it with all of the evidence you have that YouTube's going to require.
Yeah.
Because nobody should be copyright claiming what you own.
Right.
But really think about whether you truly own 100% of it. Like, did you actually play that instrument? Did you actually record that sound effect yourself, or are you gathering them from different sources? Then it becomes a bit of a bun fight because we don't know where that material has come from.
Yeah. So, yeah, definitely use YouTube's tools. If you were just trying to figure out who to contact, YouTube has a process for that built into your studio. Do live streams count towards your 4,000 hours of watch time needed for monetization?
Oh, that's a question, isn't it? Right.
I've been struggling with this myself because I went through this journey. I took a shorts channel and I live streamed on it. And that did get me to 4,000 hours, but not as quick as I thought. And I think my answer, once I looked at the data, was that all the hours that people watched after the live stream was over, counted towards monetization.
All right. So here's the strict definition of it here.
All right.
What counts as valid public watch time hours? Watch hours gained from videos you've set to public. All right. Is videos a key part there? Perhaps. Right. So what doesn't count towards watch time? Live streams that are unlisted, deleted, or not converted to video on demand. So yes, there still seems to be a bit of a gray area there. Once the live stream is finished and people are watching the repeat of that live stream, that's now considered video on demand. So I would assume the watch hours count from that. But do the watch hours count from the live stream itself? Like the 190 people watching right now and the 190 minutes of watch time we're getting per minute, would that count? I don't think it does, but I could be wrong. And if it doesn't count, then I would be asking YouTube why, because you're really pushing live streaming right now.
I was getting hundreds of hours when my streams concluded. Like it would give you that little report card after your stream's over, and it would tell me I got hundreds of hours. I'm like, wow, tomorrow that should look really good on my watch time, and it didn't. It didn't budge. And then a couple days later, when the stream was video on demand, that's when the number of hours on that stream started to match that number that was creeping up in my, little counter towards 4,000 hours.
I mean, I would love to ask YouTube this and Team YouTube on Twitter, but they will just give me this answer. They will just copy and paste that, and then he'll say, "Yeah, but hang on, what about this, this, and this?" And then they just won't really answer the question. Somebody should be in the middle of this. Somebody should be able to answer this particular question.
All right, next question. Why doesn't YouTube Shorts get added to watch time? I got 1 million views, congrats, on a YouTube short, and because it was before Shorts Fund, I didn't get monetized. Thank you for your help.
Because YouTube now have their own monetization mechanism, which is the Shorts Fund. Now, all right, if you got 1 million views before the Shorts Fund was here, you were testing out YouTube Shorts in its beta phase when it wasn't quite ready for monetization. The thing is, I believe with YouTube Shorts is that we don't know how adverts are going to be used on Shorts. So it seems a little disingenuous to allow you to reach the requirements on Shorts, but then start making long form content, which YouTube haven't really been able to review. Like, let's say YouTube allowed you to apply for the YouTube Partner Program through Shorts only, and then you got in, and then you completely change your content to long form content. YouTube has no history or knowledge of your long form content. So you're kind of entering the wrong partner program in that sense. So I guess it's just wrong place, wrong time type of thing. But at the same time, you got 1 million views, you built up an audience there, you had some virality. The next challenge is to do it again to hopefully earn a bonus payment this time.
I got one more start question here. I am looking for more monetization questions, but we might be getting to that point in the day.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's see. The Shorts bonus expires by the 25th. Do you need to wait until your AdSense gets activated to claim a Shorts bonus?
So when you claim your when you claim the bonus, it will ask you to set up an AdSense account.
Yeah, that's true.
And then I don't know if that means that you're already making a claim or it has to wait for the AdSense account to connect and then make the claim. I guess what I would say is that you've got 10 days. So if you've got the bonus, you should have got that email by now because you get that on between the 8th and the 10th. So you should already be through that process. I would imagine if everything goes fine, then your AdSense account should get connected at well before the 25th, unless there's an issue.
Yeah. Hopefully not.
I would imagine if it isn't set up in time, then unfortunately you will lose the bonus.
So getting into, I guess, a few more general questions, Rob, if that's all right.
Yeah. So what I think we'll do is we'll turn on subscriber mode at this point. So this question sneak through, but if you want to ask us a question in the last 30 minutes, then you need to make sure that you're subscribed to vidIQ, even though I've just talked about how we're not really bothered about subscribers anymore. I just want to make it a little bit more exclusive for people asking questions. So you've got a minute's timeout for questions if you haven't subscribed. So if you want to ask a question now, subscribe to the channel, and a minute after you've done that, you can ask us a question.
So Flaming Gamer asks, if you use YouTube Studio's audio library, will that be beneficial when it comes to the quality of your videos in the journey for monetization? I mean, the alternative could be using a service other than the audio library that has copyright-free music, which is also fine, or using music that you don't have a license to use, which is not fine. So in that sense, yes, it would be very beneficial to stick to the audio library or another service that you license music through.
In terms of quality of your videos, that's just essentially a stylistic choice. Like
Mhm.
I've decided recently to remove music from my videos because I'm starting to think how it impacts viewers when they watch it at double speed. I've noticed when I'm watching videos at double speed, the music gets very grating.
Yeah.
So I've decided to test that, and I feel as if I'm not a good enough storyteller to mix the music enough. I feel as if I'm using the same music too often, so it gets a bit repetitive. So that's why I've dropped it out. But again, we're going to talk about Ed for a little second here and his film booth stuff. Like he uses music so fantastically well to change the pace, the story, the emotion, and that's all just down to the quality. It's, you know, how good are you at doing this?
Yeah, there's definitely an artistry to it. In my last video, I tried not to use it throughout the whole thing, and I preferred that. It took less time, and I was able to use it for effect when I wanted it. So I brought it in at certain points, but didn't try to make the whole video just have a bed underneath the whole thing.
But yeah, ultimately, if you want to avoid any monetization copyright issues, then the audio library is there for you. Use it.
How does copyright work if I review other people's videos and films?
Oh, Emily, come over here. Can you answer this question?
Yeah, where were you during our Emily stream? You should definitely join us at the beginning of January if you have a lot of copyright questions. Not that we won't do our best, but Emily Baker is a legal expert, and we bring her in sometimes, and we talk about these issues quite a lot. Basically, there's something called fair use, and it gets very complicated.
Fair use and how transformative is the content. If you're adding enough of a fresh perspective, opinion, your voice, your style to that content, then it should be considered fair use. But you're always up against a system, an automated system, which may just decide that it is copyright material, in which case you would need to possibly dispute it. And then it gets a lot more complicated. YouTube has many articles on this as well, so well worth checking out.
Absolutely. Just looking for some questions to star here.
I should be doing that as well, shouldn't I?
Here you go.
What was that? Yeah, so yeah, do you want to put me full screen? So yeah, I mean, all of these are actually genuine play buttons. Currently, that is the Spanish channel. Am I pointing in the right place? That's a Spanish channel, 100,000 subscribers. That's my own personal channel, the Video Gadgets Journal, which is still around, but I haven't done any content on. And yeah, this is just a temporary holding position for this gold play button, which YouTube sent to us, about a week ago. And we did like the unboxing on this very live stream last Wednesday, where we did a bit of Q&A on it. So if you want to find out more, make sure to visit that live stream.
All right. If you have a channel about machines, hold on, there we go. If you have a channel about machines and you make, they take a lot of time to make. So all your videos take about 5+ weeks to make because you're doing very technical stuff. Should you upload more videos that aren't about the machines to get more watch hours for monetization?
Nah, I feel as if you're being a slave to a requirement, a milestone, rather than making content to build an audience.
Mm-hmm.
That's the danger, isn't it? That's where you see 1,000 subscribers as a requirement. So your channel takes an impact. Your content is compromised by you trying to reach that target. And it sounds like you may end up doing split content. But then it also goes back to the question of quality versus quantity. You're spending an immense amount of time making these videos, but are these videos actually being watched and are they being enjoyed? And if you can only find that out, like 5 times, 10 times a year, because you're making a video less than once a month, then maybe you're not getting enough data and feedback to be able to improve quicker.
So let's see. Oh, the other thing I was going to say for this creator is that something you could do is try and incorporate shorts into your upload schedule. So this is just totally optional, but I think if it takes you 5 weeks to make a video, shorts might be something to test out. So what you would do is you take that video, which I imagine is long enough to where you can cut out a couple of parts that are interesting. So let's say you upload on Monday and you want to get a video out the following Monday, but you can't because you're still working on it, and you want to get the one video out the following Monday after that. Maybe you could take 2 clips from your last video and make them into fun 20, 30-second shorts, whether that's just one segment from the video or whether that's like diving deeper and editing together, you know, 20 seconds of clips from a video. It's all up to you, but I would just make sure they stand on their own, give context. Don't try and just use them to drive people to the longer video. That generally doesn't work, but try to just take moments from that last video and see, are any of these good, really quick shareable moments? And that way, at least the channel has some stuff going on in, you know, the process or in the interim between videos.
It looks like a Lego building slash maybe 3D printing channel. Again, we're not doing audits here, but Dan, something you mentioned earlier, one of the strategies Ed has, Film Booth again, that he's going back in his older content and is making changes with thumbnails and the titles. And because this creator does a lot less content, that means each video stands on a higher pedestal, and so you have to give it more, I guess, more attention and effort, both in a title and a thumbnail. So maybe, let's say each video takes 5 weeks to make. Maybe before you make the next one, you should just take a week first to really look at how you improve your thumbnails and titles to potentially win more clicks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would, if we were doing audits, I might talk about how your thumbnails, there's a lot going on, like, because you've built something cool, but it's so small. I mean, so you, as you kind of hone your skills as a creator, maybe go back. Yeah, since these videos stick around a long time before a new one's uploaded, maybe go back and update some of these.
Because these look as if they've got some evergreen aspect to them, like they don't tend to age too much, because it is just building cool Lego stuff. So yeah, maybe revisiting some of these and giving them a fresh look of paint.
Yeah. Best of luck. Nice channel. Do you think a video publishing schedule matters if you create all evergreen content?
Probably it matters less, because if you intend to have a video that gets 1,000 views on your first day, but it gets 1,000 views in 2 years, like on day 749, then I don't think timing really matters that much. And when it's evergreen, it tends to be search-based related as well. Again, so people aren't just necessarily discovering it through home and browse when it's first uploaded. They're discovering it through search. So I don't know, Dan, am I being too surface level there? Could there be a reason why?
I missed what you said because I was looking for questions.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
I was just saying that I don't think in terms of publishing schedule or what time you publish really matters for evergreen content.
I think in the sense that you're making like searchable evergreen videos, it doesn't matter in the long run. For building an audience of returning viewers, I would say consistency still helps. There's still going to be people who are going to follow you, just like us. You know, we make a lot of evergreen content here at vidIQ, and we like to upload a few times a week. We like to do a couple live streams a week. We like to be consistent because we have regular returning viewers that, you know, we want to keep around. Start a couple others here. But I was still reading the second one. I'll quickly answer this one. So you started uploading shorts a month ago and got 1,000 subscribers, 500,000 views. Congratulations! And now you're starting to upload long form videos. Do you think I can get 4,000 hours by next year? It depends. I mean, we're not looking at your channel, so we don't really know where you're at. Maybe your long form videos are doing a really good job of getting some of the shorts viewers to come over. Maybe they're not. Maybe you're finding that a lot of the shorts views are not translating to long form views. And in either case, it's going to change the time frame dramatically. I wouldn't like Rob said earlier. I wouldn't dedicate yourself to that goal, right? Like, I have to get 4,000 hours and I have to do it by this time. It's good to have goals, but worry about making really awesome content, and everything else will kind of fall into place. And it might take some time, it might take some practice, but try not to. Oh, I'm only going to do this if the guys at vidIQ say that it's going to work, because we couldn't possibly predict that. Can I make shorts my main channel mixed with long form content? Very similar to what we were kind of just talking about.
You can. Some channels have done this successfully. I'm thinking of Illegal Eagle and Colin and Samira as examples of this. But what I'm finding more and more is that smaller channels tend to separate their long form and short form content because they just don't know how it's going to impact their audience. And they're just not sure of the quality of the long form content or the short form content when they're currently very familiar with one style.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking, if you're creating short videos, then maybe you can have also shorts on the channel as well. But if you're going from 8-minute videos to 8-second video the day after, again, it's a cop-out answer, but sometimes it depends. But if you were asking me, I would probably start a second channel as a test bed for your shorts, at least to begin with.
Just as an anecdotal example here, I honestly stopped making shorts. My existing audience were unsubbing every time I posted a short. So I was going to say that comes down to personal preference, honestly. I've tested them on the same channel. I've enjoyed the results. I kind of followed the methodology. BlockFacts has followed this too, where you build up an audience with shorts and then you make very, very, very similar content, but in long form mode. So you can even make them the same length as your shorts, but they're still in widescreen format, 16:9. So they're not on the shelf. And the people who like that kind of content, short form, fun content, similar to what you're doing before, a lot of them jumped over, in my case, in the case of BlockFacts, and watched the long form videos. But if your shorts content is going to be dramatically different from your long form content, then you might want to consider a second channel. Or if you just like the idea of having that separated, maybe you're on your way to 100K and you're like, I would love to get another silver play button for another channel. That might be your reasoning for starting a second shorts channel. A lot of it's personal preference. So that's why it's so hard to answer. All right. I am close to the requirements to monetization. I have more viewers finding my content than returning viewers. So new viewers. I have more viewers finding my content than returning viewers that are subscribed. I give a call to action. Is there something I can do to get them to click? It's hard to understand that question. Do you kind of...
This isn't necessarily a bad thing. If it just means that at the moment, let me read that again. I have more viewers finding content than returning. So I think it's saying that you're having more new viewers than return viewers. And so that means that YouTube is continuing to test your content with new audiences, which is fine. Yes, obviously you would like them to subscribe. They don't necessarily need to subscribe to become return viewers. If you were going to give some calls to actions, whether it be the subscriber technique or just saying, I hope you've been finding this video enjoyable. Do make sure to check out what else I've got on my channel, or make sure to subscribe so you can watch the next one. I don't know. Yeah, it is the case of asking for sometimes you just need to ask people to do stuff. Like, for example, folks, we're at 259 likes right now. Can you please get us up to 300 likes? I don't know why we haven't got up to 300 likes yet. It's very disappointing. If we don't get up to 300 likes by the end of this live stream, I'm removing this. I'm gonna remove this thing. I'm not giving it away to anybody. I'm just gonna hide it because you don't deserve to see it if we don't have 300 likes. And right now, already we've just got 10 likes out of that. So people are doing what I'm saying. 277 likes. Now, maybe through my own kind of like British sarcastic way, people are doing that because I know I'm joking. How would you do something similar on your videos to get them to do something. And often it's usually telling them, but then offering them like a bit of jeopardy or a reward in order to get them to do that. I mean, Dan, you've just seen my video this morning. How many people do you reckon are going to do what I did in that?
Wait, what?
So you've just watched a video about YouTube Shorts, right?
Yeah.
And the game. Do you think anybody's gonna? Do you think anybody's actually gonna do it?
Maybe. I think a few people.
I think a few people are gonna do it. I think I'm
Yeah.
gonna see some comments, and I think at least one person's gonna share a video. I think because they're gonna want to try and claim that prize that I offered.
Yeah.
See, look, I've planted such an intriguing proposition there. Who's actually gonna? Who is gonna watch the video tomorrow when I launch it?
So got a question here. In my research, the best way to grow is to work your way into YouTube suggested. How does one do that? LOL, how does YouTube know how to recommend you?
So we've got a couple of videos on this about how the YouTube recommendation system works. And Dan has talked about the ideal candidate of finding that one viewer. And then in my follow-up video, Dan, which I'm going to encourage you to watch after this live stream, I talk about what a viewer is going to do when they're satisfied by one of your pieces of videos. And what they're going to probably do one of two things. They're going to go to your channel and then look for other things that are similar to what they've just watched. And if they're satisfied by that, then that's another positive signal to YouTube. They're likely to show that viewer more of your content. But also what happens is that when they're satisfied by one of your videos, they're going to anticipate what you do next. So that next video really has to deliver more viewer satisfaction to that viewer. And then you're starting to build up a cycle of, hey, YouTube's realizing that this viewer really likes this content. And as long as that creator continues to make similar relevant content, I'm going to take that video and I'm going to serve it up to that viewer when they next publish a video.
Your videos will be suggested amongst your other videos. Your videos can be suggested amongst other people's videos that are similar. So then it becomes jumping on trends, you know. So if you were, I'll try to be very specific here. If you were a Minecraft channel that jumped on the Squid Games trend, and then you saw that creator do that, and you're like, I have a Minecraft channel, and you made your own Squid Game video, there's a chance that YouTube might test your video alongside theirs, you know. So it suggested works in all kinds of fun ways. But everything Rob said, and yeah, also that it's really gonna be down to the viewers and their personal, you know, viewing habits. Suggested is going to look different for everybody.
I'm getting distracted, Dan, because Daniel, our social media guy, just shared this tweet with us, and somebody's done like a breakdown of like, yeah, we got 1 million subscribers. Here's how they did it. And I'm just like this enormous thread of like,
oh,
how we do all of these things. And I'm looking at these thinking, is that what I do? Is this how we do it? Oh, this is really interesting. I might use all of this and turn it into a video.
Do you agree with what's being said here?
Yeah, kind of. But yeah, it's kind of like this person who just basically wrote the script for the final part of our how to get 1 million subscribers.
I can't help but notice they forgot my gaming video.
Yeah, I can't help but notice that Dan doesn't feature in this at all. That's a bit, yeah, that's a good point actually. So he needs to add point 11. Dan's made some pretty awesome videos as well.
Yeah, Jake.
But thanks, Jake. I love you. Oh, we've got 298 likes right now. We need 2 more, or else, yeah, I'm getting rid of this.
Okay. Do we have anything started? No, we don't. So we're on our own.
Oh dear.
We're in the dark.
No.
Let's see here.
What about this one? I have 1,150 subscribers and 372,000 views. So I'm guessing you're either at monetization or close to it. Because my videos used to be growing. I'm not sure what that means. But lately my channel watch hours and views are decreasing. Please tell me what I'm doing wrong. You're making good thumbnails. So this could be just the natural ebb and flow of your YouTube journey. There are peaks, there are troughs. Sometimes it's not just all plain sailing going up. But another reason as well is that there's seasonality changes. It may be that your content just isn't as relevant to the viewer right now or anymore. That might be because you're covering a certain game that's less popular, or you're a travel channel and we're in the winter months, so that's not quite as popular. Or people just generally are busy at this time of year coming up to Christmas, and their interests are elsewhere right now. Or it could be that there is something in your data that's telling you why your views are decreasing. Whether it's you think you make good thumbnails, but is that being reflected in the click-through rate and the impressions? Is watch time adjusting? Has a new competitor come into your video topic and is, I guess, essentially stealing your audience? There are many different factors. So the ones I've bullet pointed there, maybe you can systematically go through each one to try and answer that question.
All right. Oh, here's an interesting one. Maybe you don't know the answer to this. I certainly don't. But can you get a silver play button in a place where monetization is not eligible?
Very good question. I have no idea. I guess what happens when you reach one of these milestones, YouTube sends you a code to put into a website. Now, this is an interesting question now, because if you're not part of a YouTube partner program, you don't have the live support. So you can't directly contact YouTube. You'd have to do it through Twitter, and hopefully they'll DM you. So I don't know. Yeah, I guess if you were like demonetized, then you might not be eligible for a button. But you know, if you literally can't monetize because you're in a region where you can't do that, I don't know about why that would necessarily discount you from being able to enjoy one of the creator rewards. So I honestly don't know the answer to
that. There's one here. I just, in the background, pulled up the channel just to see what this looked like. But how do you feel about posting 10 YouTube Shorts a day? I've been getting around 20 subscribers a day.
So what I've been saying is that I think it's fine to post several shorts. Is 10 a day a little bit too excessive? I think it's worth testing. Maybe you should post 5 a day instead of 10 and just see how the volume of traffic is impacted. I wouldn't necessarily worry too much about how many subs you're getting. I'd be more worried about views and the watch time on those and maybe likes on those videos.
I think there'll be quality will come into play here. Because just looking at these, these are only 3 days old, so maybe all of these will have more time to shine on the short shelf, but they're all getting similar views. I would say that to me, like, this all looks exactly the same, and the only thing you've changed is the number, but even the still frame of like the thumbnail is the same. I don't know what these look like on the short shelf, because this might be like a custom thumbnail you're using, but it's going to be about quality too. Like, shorts, don't take for granted just because you know, shorts feel a bit easy to make, like, doesn't mean they don't need to have like some kind of value or something funny, or like sometimes I work more on a short than I do on a long form video. It just depends on how I want it to hit the viewer. So if you were uploading, and I'm calling out, you have a lot of stuff on here. I only call out those because they all look like wallpaper to me, but they're doing all kinds of really neat stuff in their short shelf. But if you manage to do 3 shorts a day instead of 10, how much more time would that give you to make sure those shorts are even harder to skip past, if that makes sense? You know, you don't want people to skip your short too early. So could you be doing things to help build up your retention? Look at your data and see when these shorts get picked up. Are people staying for 100%? Are they staying for more than 100%? Meaning some of them are rewatching it. Because for shorts, you really want it. Those are the numbers you want to aim for average view percentage. You want to be in the 90, 100% range. And if you're struggling to hit that because you're trying to produce 10 shorts a day, then work a little more on quality. I've never heard anyone recommend do 10 a day. I've heard people recommend 3, but 10's to me is quite a lot. So those are my thoughts.
Thank you for your thoughts, Don.
Yes. It would appear that we are at the time.
Yay! We got to 300 likes before end of play, so the play button remains.
I'm glad too. It looks like it couldn't really go in many places. So I'm glad it survived the live stream. Well, join us next week to see if it survives yet again.
Yeah, because I'm on next week, aren't I? That's
yes,
yes, I am. Yeah.
Yes. So thank you all for watching. We're going to be back tomorrow with a new video, Monday with a new video, Tuesday with a live stream, Wednesday with a live stream. Anything Thursdays?
Maybe we'll see.
Thursdays. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right.
The reason I'm publishing the video tomorrow is because it's a news story. So I'm trying to get them as close to the actual news as it is. Whereas if it's more like just strategy tips, then it might go out on a Friday.
Watch my video for Monday. It's going to help you find the perfect viewer for every single one of your videos. And when you find the perfect viewer, it's a lot easier to find the perfect viewers. So check it out.
Dan, can I just say, before
Yes.
we end this live stream, that I do believe that this may be the last live stream we are doing together in 2021.
Oh.
So it's been an absolute pleasure having you as my co-host and me co-hosting on the Owl live streams. I look forward to many more live streams in 2022.
Hey, likewise. I think it's cool to have you around sometimes too, sometimes. No, always enjoy working with you, and always enjoy everybody else being here. Thank you for an awesome year.
Absolutely, yeah.
And we'll be back next week and tomorrow and etc. All right, everybody. See you later.